They are going to start killing ICE agents. I don't like it, but ICE agents are going to start getting killed. And unfortunately, this is something that Donald Trump will use to his advantage. Let me explain and give me time to lay this out. First, to just be clear up front before anybody mischaracterizes what I'm saying here, I oppose all violence. Violence against civilians is wrong. Violence against federal agents is wrong. What the Trump administration is doing right now is a blueprint for escalation. Now, we've already crossed the line into something very dangerous. Let's talk about Alex Preddy. Alex Preddy was a 37-year-old ICU nurse, an American citizen, no criminal record, had some traffic tickets. He was filming federal agents in Minneapolis over the weekend. He tried to help a woman who had just been shoved to the ground. Video shows him holding a phone. He gets pepper sprayed. He gets tackled by multiple agents and pinned to the sidewalk. Another agent pulls a gun from his waistband, turns away, and less than a second later, the shots start. Maybe as many as 10 shots in 5 seconds, and Alex is dead. Federal officials immediately say he was a violent threat. They start bandying around that he's a domestic terrorist. But the videos don't show that. Witnesses don't say that. State officials say the feds even have blocked access to the crime scene. So this is not law and order. We can't even call it law enforcement. ICE is not enforcing the law. This is a federal paramilitary force operating with near total impunity. And the part that a lot of people don't want to say out loud, because if you say it the wrong way, it sounds like you're advocating violence, which of course I'm not, is that when the state starts killing people in the streets with no consequences, it's inevitable that there's going to be escalation. Not because violence is justified, it's not, but because human behavior is predictable. You teach a society that violence is the language through your actions. Someone eventually is going to respond in that language. And if this continues, the retaliation against agents is going to happen. And one or more agents is going to be killed. Not because it's right, not because that's how we fix things. We won't, and I'll get to that in a moment, but because this is how systems break. Now, the darker part is the following. Authoritarians want escalation. Chaos is useful to them. Chaos lets them say, we need more force. We need troops. We need emergency powers. We need to suspend normal rules. Maybe elections are too dangerous. Maybe the country is too unstable to vote in November and take Republicans out of power in the House of Representatives. Wouldn't that be nice for Donald Trump? So let's get something very straight. I want to speak as clearly as possible. They are going to end up in a situation where the very chaos they cause is used to justify a bigger crackdown. Now, on the threats around the election, it might sound quaint to mention this, but presidents do not run elections in the United States. States run elections. Local officials run elections. So even if he tries, because he's already said, wouldn't it be nice to, use that justification? We're at war. We are in an emergency. We can't have an election. Trump has flirted with that. He cannot wave a pen and end the 2026 election, even if there is a war going on, if there's a pandemic, if there's unrest. Trump's term will end January 20th, 2029, no matter what. But Trump can try to make the country feel ungovernable, I guess is the word I would use. And he can provoke unrest. And then if and when the ICE agents start getting killed, he goes, oh, now it's so crazy. We now need martial law. We now need to deploy the military. We now need to suspend the 2026 election. We've got to flood every city with federal agents and escalate until people are so afraid that maybe they accept the authoritarianism. So this is the double-edged sword, which is that the impunity that we see these ICE agents operating with leads to chaos. The chaos will lead to ICE agents getting killed. And then that will become the justification to say, now we've really got to repress protests and civil society.